surrounded by ghosts in white, and nothing belongs to you in life. Oh, the picture of you cuts like a knife. Whatever they call us, whatever they do, they're running in circles, circle of fools. Whatever we will lose, got nothing to prove. But in the dark I'm starting to. Whatever they call us, whatever they'll do, we're running together, I'll be here for you. Whatever we will miss, we find something new. But in the dark I'm starting to miss that we know how to take is lost. We've worn out the mystery. Every answer that's harder to face. Trust to be good for me. Every time that we fall and I'm known enough to know I didn't know enough. No, not even close enough to know if it's real or a bluff. You love me like it's struggling to hold back. Then you wonder why we never last. You love me like you're walking on the moon, but you swear you'll be back soon. Yeah, you swear you'll be back soon. Thinking back to what we used to have and lost. Yeah, I never thought that it was gonna cost more than my heart and my soul. It's gone out of control. You love me like it's struggling to hold back. Then you wonder why we never last. You love me like you're walking on the moon, but you swear you'll be back soon. Yeah, you swear you'll be back soon. Yeah, you swear you'll be back soon. Looking into my heart, I saw it right from the start. It was drawn to you. Never could I imagine who you really are. Now look at my battle scar.
This is a Groupon ad. And this is where you live. Or maybe this is where you live. Is this where you live? No matter where you live, we know there's a Groupon waiting for you to discover. That's Groupon's whole deal. Discover deals on stuff you do every day. These are some of the things you can do where you live. This is what saving with Groupon looks like. This is our free app. Download the free app and save. This is our logo. Groupon.
Don't know where to start when shopping online for jewelry?
Yeah, just how many prongs do I... Wait.
Here at Fire and Brilliance, we have jewelry consultants to help you every step of the way. We can give you the hands-on experience to play with preferences from start to finish. Let's begin with what you think she likes. So now we can make this into what you know she'll love. Hello? Hello? Thank you for calling Fire and Brilliance. How may I help you?
You love me like it's struggling to hold back. Then you wonder why we never last. You love me like you're walking on.
Killing spree.
Only the worthy receive the gift of Nightfall's kiss. Cannot save
An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret.
I march to endless glory.
You have slain an enemy. Your turret has been destroyed.
Fools fear death. The strong wield it.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Double kill.
Death cannot.
Enemy rampage.
Unfettered by mortality. Malice.
Destroyed.
My will is once again bound to honor. I promise eternity.
Shut down. Your turret has been destroyed.
Weaklings cower in the light. I bring eternal darkness.
guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to show you my new project slash build, or yeah, whatever this character is going to be like. The only thing I know, it is spectral throw, and yes, the accent's actually so beautiful. Anyway, so thing is, I leveled this character up yesterday. I have a hair in my eye. Oh shit. Okay, now it's working. So, I leveled this guy up yesterday. It is currently level 74, so yeah, strictly out of ready for maps basically. Just made all the acts yesterday, and for leveling, I have to say, holy fuck, this is bad. Like usually, you level up with a tabula, like once League started, even in hardcore or something. It's not a big deal to just get your tabula going somewhere. So basically, I leveled this character up with a 6 link with 20% quality gems, and the damage is so bad that, yeah, holy moly, dude. I think you need quite some investment to make this build as good as possible, right? For a showcase, if you're not known on Spectre Throw, and yes, I'm taking Blood Aqueducts here in Act 9, because I want to show how this build should look like once we've done or made some investment. So if you're thinking like, hey, this is a complete build guide or something, no. This is basically, I want to share my thoughts about Spectre Throw, because this is basically the second time I'm playing it. The first time was basically so fun. And this is the speed that I want to reach, right? I want to just run in there, explode everything, and this should be actually be playable in high tier maps, right? I know we have Legion, I know that everybody's farming Legions in low tier maps because it's so much more profitable than anything else at the moment. But I still want to make a character that can easily like farm over Elder Shape or whatever I need to, right? But this is the speed that I want to get. Clear as an area. I'm still farming my challenges. We are on 32 at the moment. And I'm missing in the vessel that you get in these vaal-sided areas are having 2 of the same fragments. So that's why I don't really want to skip those. I don't know how many of those I already ran, but I just cannot get it for some reason. Maybe this is the time. It's not. Anyways, so this is the speed I want to have. I'm going to, like, after this run here is done, I'm going to run a map based on my level. So it's going to be a tier 2, tier 3 map. And you're going to see that the damage already falls off with the current gear that I have. And I want to mention that my gear is probably 50 chaos. If actually 50 chaos, you know, it's a 5-link impulsor. And if you think like, holy shit, dude, the impulsor is like 5 exalts or something, yeah. In this league, an impulsor, 5-link by the way, is 60 chaos, right? The normal impulsor goes for, I think 10 chaos or 15 chaos. So the main goal for this build should be clearing the Legion dudes as fast as possible at any kind of high tier, or at least like map tier, right? And since we have the Vaal Spectre Throw is basically, I'll put it over here. It's not just the weapons, the Spectre Throw that spawn in you and then make a bigger circle. So it's pretty cool to just run into these Legion mobs and just press your Vaal Spectre Throw 1 or twice and then keep on moving, because in that area the Vaal Spectre Throw will clear everything, right? So, kill those real quick. And yes, I know it's Act 9, but hey, keep gear level 70, what do you expect? But still, let's try to run a map so I can show you what it is like to run a map with this kind of setup. If we're fast enough. So, map tier, let's go map tier 3, probably any open map, and plotted mine, Ashen Wood, Relic, Pier. I only have, I want to keep one of the maps, so maybe tier 4. Strand, we only have one. Yeah, never mind. You know what, let's run the Strand. So, Alley Reflect is bad. What is this? Chance, multi, area of effect, whatever. So, this is a normal tier 4 map just with an alpha on it, right? And you're gonna see what I mean with the damage is absolute shit without investment. I'm running 2 Dream Feathers, and they're basically getting attack damage if I scale evasion rating. You go for a chaos maybe? Yeah, 1 chaos. Which is not a lot, obviously, right? For the mapping process itself, it does look okay. But the boss damage, once you hit those rare packs, you see that they need multiple hits to actually die. The good thing is every time you approach one of these bigger packs, you can just use your Vaal Spectral Throw in the middle of the pack and they will just basically get demolished, as you see here. Which is good, but once we start getting Legion, what we have over here, so the basic idea is just like Vaal Spectral Throw, Vaal Spectral Throw, Vaal Spectral Throw, and then start clearing manually, okay? So we have a really, really good area clear. But as you see over here, how many shots does this guy take until it actually opens up, you know? And that made me think of how many possibilities do you have to make this build pretty good, you know? And this is what something I want to talk about after this map here, because I want to show you the map showcase in the current build without changing for a single target setup. Yeah, but as you see, we're struggling here with the damage quite a lot, and this is the low tier map, so without any kind of investment it's going to be hard to reach any kind of range. So this is done basically, but I like the playstyle. The playstyle is something new, I gotta say, and it's a lot of fun, okay? So this build, maybe it doesn't look, I mean, it is fast. It is fast once you get rolling, and it's going to be really great once it gets rolling. Let's check the single target DPS. 3 times Vaal Spectral Throw.
Minions have swarmed.
Nice deeps, right? Tier 4, by the way. So usually, you would switch to a different setup, and that being... Oh, my Spectral Throw! Oh, yes. That deeps, man. Usually you would go for a single target setup. With that being slower projectiles instead of rateable projectiles. So we only throw like 1 or 2 of the Spectral Throws, depending on your resonancy. But this is going to be a lot more damage, okay? So, let's talk about my gear real quick, what I decided to come up with. Basically, grip gloves for projectile damage and slow approach. Now, the slow approach doesn't do anything for us besides the second part of the stat, which is increased projectile damage. So this is just generic damage. A Worm C, yeah, leveling. A tier staff offer a lot of evasion rating. Evasion rating ends up being attack damage for my swords at the moment, then a 5-flip impulsor. Because I thought like, hey, wait a sec, if we are having a physical build that is converted into lightning damage, so we can shock and use an impulsor, that could be actually some pretty awesome clear speed. Yeah. Just the problem is Vaal Spectral Throw doesn't do a lot of damage. So this is the point where what I want to talk about today. What possibilities do we have to make this build like really good, especially for high tier and also for survival, and what I'm probably going to try out as the next step, and so on. So yeah, Star Conscious with a reduced Spectral Throw deceleration. That means that once they have the max range reached, they're gonna stay a little bit longer before they come back, you know? Because if I unequip this, you're gonna see that they instantly roll back. Gonna showcase here. So they turn out and then come back. If I use this one, they will take way longer to actually get back. So like 30% deceleration is pretty nice. Yeah, rest of the gear, hey, I have Tamings. Tamings are expensive. Yeah, they are. But that was the only way that I can fix my resistance to make this video actually with positive resistance. It feels so bad actually for making a video with this kind of gear. But I know that today on the stream we're gonna end up probably being level 90 maybe, and probably invested some kind of currency into it. But I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about Spectral Throw itself, and yeah, what possibilities we have. Skill tree is pretty generic for every kind of Raider Resonancy, right, or Ranger with evasion rating, life, that kind of stuff. Then life, Lord nodes, LE damage nodes, crit nodes, life nodes, Vitality Void, Leech, projectile gems, life, bravery here for yeah, life evasion. Same here, phase acrobatics. It's like basically the same as every kind of yeah, Ranger generic character, you know. Never mind if it's going to be a tornado shot, if it's going to be cyclone, whatever. Like, they all have basically the same tree. Anyway, so as I said, for this build, what I was thinking was, hey, if we are having physical damage and convert this physical damage into lightning damage to shock, right? How can we reach that? So we have the physical to lightning gem that basically converts 50% of our physical into lightning. Then we have the new crafting bench craft, or at least not new, but since the crafting bench is released, we have physical converted as a prefix craft. And then we have the Watcher's Eye. That gives you another, yeah, I think like 20 to 40, 25 to 40, another conversion. So if we count this one up, 50 from the gem, then 20 plus from my glove enchant, and 30 plus from the damage conversion on the Wrath Jewel, Watcher's Eye Jewel. We have the 100%. So my damage at the moment is pure lightning here.
Ah, London. Had a good run there for a while. Now it's all right. Bombings. It's up to us to take our city back.
Once I pop my flask, I get some extra chaos damage, but basically, it's a pure lightning at the moment. But, I mean, path of building of this one here, which currently sucks, is still in the description below if you want to see my current setup. But now I actually want to talk about what possibilities do we have to make this build work quite fine. So, Spectre Throw, as I said, I played it in the first time in the Flashback Hardcore League. The first character died on level 40 because I had a Windows error, which was actually pretty sad. But I had so much fun playing Spectral Throw that I decided to level up a second one, right? The second one is still alive for some weird reason, so it was Flashback, now it's in hardcore standard. This is standard. So this one is still alive, but the problem is I'm running 2000... Okay, skill trees reset it. Hey, nice jewel. The problem is this character has 2000 life on map, and that's why I said like, okay, this is probably not what I really want to play in hardcore itself, because yeah, 2000 life, yeah, rip. But it still survived for some weird reason. Even Kitaba with like 1900 life was not a big deal. Anyways, so we have the option to go elemental damage. We have the option to go abyss stack, do Run of Ice with spell damage. We could do Licacy Day with like the Ali boss saw, right? Generic elemental damage. We could take a physical build. We can take a pure lightning based build, or we could take Shroud of the Lightless for the ele penetration if you're having triple DPS foils. What other option we have? A pure physical variation. You can play the physical with Herald of Ice, a Dex stacking. That's what Matil did recently, I think like last league or 2 leagues ago. He was playing a Dex stacking cold Spectre Throw, which worked out pretty fine. So you can play this build in a lot of different ways. There is one thing that I want to mention. We had Abyssal Jewel nerfs in right? So all the Abyssal Jewels that we used to have for flat damage stacking, whether it's a Tornado Shot, if it's Spectre Throw, if it's every kind of Wonder, right? We just tried to get as much flat damage from Abyss Jewels as possible. Which actually worked out fine, but in 3.7 they got nerfed. So they have like, I don't know, like 30-40% less stats on the Abyss Jewels. So stacking Abyss Jewels with Tomb Fists, with Bubonic Trail, with the Darkness Enthroned, the belt with the 2 Abyss Jewel slots, and getting all your 3 with the Abyss Jewel slots is not that valuable anymore. Okay, so what other option do we have? They buff Ali DPS by a lot. We are just going to check out with a second PvE trade, if it works. Plus PvE trade is not that great at the moment. So we have like 100 weapons and non-unique. Gonna start at 500 LDPS. For example, the best standard foil, which is like vortex hunger or something, that's like a 500 something LDPS, right? And since we have changes now, 678 LDPS for 7 exiles. That's super cheap, I would say. Cheap, yeah, probably cheap. But they are really insane in scaling. So why is that? Because they adjusted the flat rolls of alley rolls, right? If I remember back, the tier 1 stat that we used to have on lightning was, I think, like up to like 10 to 166 damage. The new lightning goes up to 310. The newest fire mod goes from 100 to a 200, and the highest cold mod goes from 100 to 170. So if we live in a perfect dream world, here we have double tier 1, and if we get the cold damage tier 1 as well, this one is 24, you could get more than 700 ally DPS, which is more than 200 ally damage higher than the ally foils or ally weapons we used to have. So as you can imagine, hey, okay, they nerfed the Bistuals, but now we can get way more flat ally damage on our weapons. So it evens out a little bit, you know? So one thing that we could do is getting a jeweled foil like this in our main hand, Lycoside in the other hand, for hits cannot be evaded. Holy shit, microphone. And start doing damage like that. Or, with the new accuracy changes, it's not hard to actually get rolling with 100% hit chance, because they changed that. It's now way easier to get 100% hit chance, even if you can get it 100%, right? It's not a real big deal. I have like, how much do I have here? 100%. And I don't have hits cannot be evaded, right? That's just because my weapons give me double force 75 accuracy. That's basically enough to get 100% hit chance, which is insane. So, you could do dual wield those weapons and go for a Shroud of the Lightless. We're gonna take Shroud of the Lightless. This one has socketed gems are supported by level 20 elemental penetration. That counts for all elemental sources, you know? And since we want to use ally foils that have all three elements, ally penetration will come in very handy. So if you have a 5 Shroud plus this staff is like a 6-link, right? Because usually you have like cold pan, lightning pan, fire pan. No, this is ally pan. Pretty insane for a build like that. Then, next option, this is the one that I'm going to probably try out, is Crown of Ice. So Crown of Ice was actually once a very, very, very good unique, but it's not that great anymore. But this one has a very unique stat which says increase and reductions to spell damage also apply to attacks. That means if I'm wearing this item and I get foils with crafted spell damage, they will count for my attacks. And this is actually pretty nice in that case, that you can scale your generic damage with that. So you're just gonna get a bunch of opal rings, ally damage, spell damage on the ring, like, I don't know, shape mod or whatever. Multi-modded foils, for example, with spell damage, hits cannot be evaded, damage is extra chaos, whatever you can get. And you will end up having a shitload of generic damage for your Spectre Throw. The next thing that I was thinking about, hey, if we take Crown of Ice and also add the spell damage on my foils, what if we go Raider and take a Pharaoh's Four? Because a Pharaoh's Four here, a Pharaoh's Four has actually an insane low price at the moment. Like that. So if we check here, yep. Open new trade here. So we have the Pharaohs. They usually go for 20. They're currently at 80. Nobody wants to play that because he's how are you gonna say that? It's not like that used anymore, you know, because usually you had these Pharaoh's Four with a lot of this dual stacking with Hail Negate or this dual got nerfed. Nobody wants to play that anymore. It's super rare, nevertheless to say. And oh boy, I roll with 36. Where the fuck did this guy get the Pharaoh's Four? Probably from Legion. While the other ones are like 80, 82, 82. So getting a Pharaoh's Four will result in having permanent power and frenzy charges up, because you switch the stances every time you switch the stance to, I think, the cat stealth or cat something, you're gonna get maximum frenzy and power charges. So if we're gonna play this as a raider, building over here. If you play this as a raider, we have on facing while maximum frenzy charges. So we have permanent frenzy and power charges, permanent facing, and if we want to, we could also go Avatar of Jayce and have like insane amounts of onslaught and speed. We end up having 7 or 8 frenzy charges in total, which would make this build super speedy, and this is exactly what I want to play with this build. But, as I said before, I'm really struggling on DPS at the moment. So, what other options as a special character? As I said, the deck stacking, what it is, I think it's weapons or something. And some other generic deck stacking stuff where you get cold damage. And yeah, what else do we have? Physical, pure physical. Played as a Slayer, played as a Deadeye, played as a Raider, played as a Scion. So you have really a lot of options to get this build going, but we're gonna find out today in the stream what will be the best. I think personal decision that the Crown of Ice spell damage Pharaoh's 4 combination could be fast as fuck, dude, and clearing legions and everything like pretty fast and solid. Just back to this impulsor here, it works out, you know, I'm shocking enemies, they explode, but I don't think on this kind of AoE that we have with Spectral Throw, it is necessary to run anymore, although they are like super cheap. But yeah, enough talking. I think this is actually the build that I'm currently trying to play. If you're wondering, hey, what happened to your Cycloner? Cycloner is still alive. I don't really want to sell things. I have them for sale, but for example, I killed Uber Elder 47 times at the moment. 10 Watcher's Eye, 2 Shroud of the 2 Eternity Shrouds, then I made Shaper. Wait a sec, Shaper about... Hey, where is my Shaper? Shaper, here we go. 24 Shapers, 3 Staff Forges. So, yeah, in all that amount of Guardian maps and fragments that I got and wasted for so many Uber Elders that didn't wield anything or yield any profit, I gotta say, I think the most effective way to farm currency at the moment is probably farming any kind of low tier map and farm those Legion dudes. They can drop Headhunters, they can drop Pharaoh's 4 as you just saw with the item level 36. They can drop a lot of Exalts. I found a total of 9 Exalts in this league already, and 7 of those came from the Legion encounter. So the drop chances are super high, or at least way more higher than it used to be on normal mapping, right? So I think if you ever want to find a mirror, I think this league, as a magic finder, farming low tier maps, killing Legion encounters, should be the most effective way to actually try to get one. And yeah, of the 47 Uber Elder kills that I did, more than 40 of those were on a Tabula Rasa with the Cycloner. So nowadays I could afford a pretty nice Astral Plate with Maim and like still no base crit, but still this thing is worth quite a lot. This just makes my Cycloner even more ridiculous, right? So not needed at all. That's why I don't think that I need to do an update on the Cycloner, because it works like a flaw with a Tabula, 4k life, Uber Elder, countless times deathless. Right? So all I stick more into this character will just be more damage, more survivability, but it already works. So just worth that. Okay, I think ready for stream. I need to get this boy to a pretty decent state because I'm so hyped about this Spectral Throw character, and it's the first time I'm really trying it with like more investment than hardcore solo self-found. And yeah, I'm looking really forward to it. I think it's going to be super fancy, super fast. And yeah, if you want to check out twitch.tv/mbigstream when I try to bring this baby a little bit higher than the current state of the art. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. See you next week. Works the same way. If he uses a ground slam at this point when Shaper spawns, he gets disconnected as well. So let's talk about Big Sip. So let's talk about the achievements for today, or at least the challenges. What do I plan? Obviously, first of all, what I said before, I want this favor. I hope I can get it tomorrow because I don't really think I need any more upgrades, so I can just stick everything I get together, and maybe I'm getting a disfavor. That would be super good. But it doesn't really have the... For me personally, it has the top priority, but sometimes if you're unlucky, if you don't sell a lot or something, it's going to be hard to get, right? So, a normal priority, I want to finish the rest of my low tier maps. I haven't bought a single map. All those maps that I found were just by mapping until somewhere tier 7. Here is also a map that I need to do here. These are all maps that I haven't unlocked yet, right? Plus I found a unique map as well. So while just using all the maps that I haven't unlocked, I found pretty much a lot of other maps. Anyways, I want to have all maps completed tomorrow. So, tier 1 is complete, tier 2 complete, tier 3, there's a couple of things missing here, 4 is a little bit more missing, but I'm going to buy those maps if I don't find it with these kind of maps here. Because for me personally, I just want to have them completed. And if we are sitting here, as you may notice on the map stash tab, they have new icons, which is pretty nice. The circle around this means there is an... or at least this border around it, this orange border, means that there is a master mission, right? And here you also have contains Sana, contains June, here contains Nico, so those maps have now an icon. If you have this one here, this blue map, it says there is a shape item over here. I'm not sure, because this is the only shape item, shape map that I have. I think once you drag your atlas way bigger, I think all of the shape maps are going to be in this blue, and then there's probably a purple color for all the elder maps. So you don't really need to check here, oh, what is this block map? Do we have one? So you're just gonna click here and just take all the maps that have this circle around there, and you have an easy time doing those shaped and the elder ring. So, next thing, I want to push deep into the yellow tier maps tomorrow. I want to do at least one red tier map with all the white maps being finished. And I want to do Uberlap. I have now 3 of 6 trials completed. I think this character, level 80, 5.5k life, overleech, damage is okay. I think I could actually do Uberlap already. I found myself like 3 trials yet. I think I'm going to buy the other ones tomorrow. You can do that while going to trade A20 or the global A20. One of those two people are spamming, hey, I have this trial, pay me 1 chaos, you can have it, blah, blah, blah. So you don't get the goddess, the offering, but who needs that, right? So, I mean, in the end, you can just buy that. It's more about getting those trials done. So, Uberlap, or at least, like, let's say, this favor, Uberlap, all white tier maps clear, push high into mid tier maps, and at least 1 high tier map. This is the plan for tomorrow, and yeah, I hope it's going well. So, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.
contacto con la Asociación Lunar y observadores planetarios por este encuentro. Mientras O'Neill dijo en público que era un fenómeno natural, el hecho de que simplemente apareció repentinamente y cuestionó si el puente era artificial, tan pronto como anunció este descubrimiento, O'Neill fue atacado por científicos escépticos. Y fue hasta con el famoso astrónomo británico H.P. Wilkin, quien confirmó que él también había visto el misterioso puente. Más tarde, el astrónomo Patrick Moore también informó de ver la estructura. Lo que es muy extraño acerca de esta historia, es que el puente lentamente comenzó a desaparecer transformándose en la superficie de la Luna. Hoy no hay rastro de lo que estos famosos astrónomos vieron en ella. La NASA, en 1960, compiló una lista de extraños avistamientos en la Luna, vistos por astrónomos de renombre, que se remonta al inicio del telescopio, y se llama Catálogo Cronológico de Eventos Lunares. El informe revela cientos de extraños objetos que se mueven en la superficie lunar, con luces que se ven en la oscuridad de la Luna, e incluso la neblina y las nubes que fluyen en su exterior. Nuestro vecino más cercano en el espacio, la Luna, ha desconcertado a científicos durante mucho tiempo. Si lo analizamos, ella es uno de los miembros más enigmáticos de nuestro sistema solar. Estas rarezas incluyen el hecho de que, la Luna y la Tierra es una de las más grandes lunas del sistema solar. La Luna es de aproximadamente un cuarto el tamaño de la Tierra. La Luna tiene una órbita extraña ya que significa que el mismo lado de la Luna, es el que está siempre frente a la Tierra. Nadie más que los astronautas han visto en realidad el lado oscuro de la Luna con sus propios ojos. Curiosamente, la Luna tiene una rotación sincrónica con la Tierra. La Luna orbita la Tierra y siempre se enfrenta a la Tierra de la misma manera. Ahora, usted no puede haber pensado sobre esto antes, pero una de las cosas más interesantes
Got your mochaccino?
que sucede con esta característica de la Luna, es que se podrían hacer cosas en la parte trasera de la Luna, se pueden hacer proyectos de construcción elaborados y podrían haber cosas muy brillantes pasando por ahí, todos estos edificios, brillantes autopistas y carreteras. Todas estas naves que van y vienen, y que nunca se verían porque solo se ve un lado de frente a la Tierra. Tal vez una de las coincidencias más extrañas, es el extraño hecho de que la Luna y el Sol desde la perspectiva de la Tierra, parecen ser del mismo tamaño, es porque la Luna es 1/400 el tamaño del Sol, y está exactamente a 1/400 de distancia entre la Tierra y el Sol. Esto es lo que nos da los eclipses solares, donde podemos ver esta increíble coincidencia para nosotros. No solo hace que gire de tal manera, para mantener siempre una cara frente a la Tierra lo que es inusual, suficiente, pero se podría explicar, pero aún más extraño todavía, es que cuando la Luna eclipsa el disco del Sol y lo transita, produce un eclipse perfecto. El tamaño de nuestra Luna, y su distancia de la Tierra es tal, que durante un eclipse, el disco de la Luna está transitando el disco del Sol, y durante el eclipse completo, el disco de la Luna es perfecto. Ni más ni menos, y queda cubriendo el disco de nuestro Sol. Ahora, que nuestra Luna esté arbitrariamente en esa órbita, para no eclipsar ni más ni menos al Sol, sino eclipsarlo a la perfección, sugeriría que nuestra Luna esté en realidad en una órbita artificial alrededor de nuestro planeta, porque solo capturar algo de la Luna o incluso para formarse como lo haría un planeta en esa órbita, y con ese tamaño, las probabilidades son casi nulas. Hay algunas muy extrañas anomalías sobre la órbita de la Luna que son innegables. Una de ellas, es que el diámetro aparente de la Luna y el diámetro aparente de nuestro Sol, y el de la Tierra es casi precisamente el mismo, y usted podría decir que no es un gran punto a tratar, pero el punto interesante, es que produce este fenómeno de la corona cuando tenemos un eclipse solar total. Observe este anillo de luz perfecto alrededor de la Luna. Sin embargo, las probabilidades de que eso podría ser estrictamente una función de la casualidad, me parece muy pequeña. La Luna tiene una rotación sincrónica, lo cual es muy raro en nuestro sistema solar, y que no es casualidad. Eso me demuestra una colocación inteligente de la luna por dos razones. La primera razón es para sostener la vida en este planeta, de una manera que lo hace extremadamente cómoda para seres sensibles como los humanos. Se necesita tener un estabilizador para evitar que la Tierra se balance en su eje. Si no habría tormentas severas y ráfagas de viento en diferentes lugares, mareas que subirían hacia la Tierra y destruirían las propiedades. La Luna realmente equilibra el clima de la Tierra y todo lo que existe en ella. La segunda razón y la más importante es debido a la rotación sincrónica, y desde nuestra perspectiva en la Tierra se ve una cara de la Luna, porque esta gira a la misma velocidad que la Tierra. Y eso permite realizar operaciones clandestinas en el lado oscuro de la Luna. Aunque realmente no es oscura, lo llamamos oscuro porque está en el lado que no podemos ver, pero técnicamente es porque la Luna tiene su propia rotación en su propio eje. Así que en realidad no hay lado oscuro. Todos sus lados ven hacia el Sol, por lo que no hay un lado oscuro. En el lado lejano de la Luna es donde potencialmente hay operaciones clandestinas, tal vez incluso una antigua base, o bases actuales que ahora se mantienen alejadas de los ojos humanos aquí en la Tierra. La Luna y la Tierra son un sistema extraño porque están muy cerca en tamaño, y por lo que es muy raro para un cuerpo tan pequeño como la Tierra, con este mínimo campo gravitacional que tiene, sea capaz de mantener un cuerpo así en una rotación sincrónica. Por ejemplo, es muy fácil para Saturno y Júpiter, que son mucho más grandes para atraer un objeto, o incluso la pesca de una luna y mantenerla en una rotación sincrónica. Entonces, quizás la Luna no se movía en su lugar, y en algún punto, la Tierra le robó su momento de rotación, al punto de que ahora solo muestra un lado de sí misma a la Tierra. Pero no parece algo que pudiera haber ocurrido naturalmente. Simplemente no tiene sentido. Los científicos no pueden ponerse de acuerdo sobre los orígenes de la Luna. Hay varias teorías, pero ninguna de ellas explica adecuadamente todo lo que concierne a la Luna. La primera es la teoría de la fisión, que dice que un trozo de la Tierra se rompió y se condensó en la Luna. El problema con esta teoría es que no explica los 4000 grados de cocción que la superficie de la Luna, que soportó en algún momento de su pasado. Si la Luna se había formado cerca de la Tierra, entonces nuestro planeta se habría horneado también a través de este calor, pero no hay evidencia de esto en la Tierra. La segunda teoría es la teoría de la captura, en la cual la Tierra de alguna manera capturó la Luna mientras pasaba a toda velocidad. El problema con esta teoría es que es improbable porque habría tenido que suceder de una manera muy exacta, ya que de lo contrario la Luna se hubiera estrellado en la Tierra. La tercera teoría es la teoría de la condensación, que dice que la Tierra y la Luna fueron condensadas al mismo tiempo, a partir del material del sistema solar. El problema con esta teoría es que si esto fuera cierto, la Luna sería tan densa como la Tierra. La cuarta y más reciente teoría es que un planeta como Marte se estrelló contra la Tierra, rompiendo un trozo que luego se transformó en la Luna. El problema aquí es que los isótopos de la Tierra y la Luna son idénticos. Esto
Bursting up above, a silhouette of dove. All the beauty rising, hiding any traces of the burden we left behind. Living in a daydream by design. Living in a daydream by design.
Esto no sería el caso si un planeta se habría estrellado en la Tierra. Para la ciencia es un dilema teniendo en cuenta cómo se creó la Luna y cómo llegó aquí. La mayor preocupación fue el hecho de que la densidad de la Luna es mucho menos que la de la Tierra, aunque la Luna es un poco menos de un tercio del tamaño de la Tierra, que pesa mucho menos. La Tierra es 81 veces más pesada que la Luna, y es lo que más desconcierta a la mayoría de científicos. Hay varias teorías sobre cómo la Luna se formó. Uno de ellos es que la Tierra fue golpeada por un objeto del tamaño de Marte, y todos los pedazos salieron y se reunieron en esta órbita en particular, y luego comenzó a dar vueltas alrededor de la Tierra. Pero si observamos los datos, se puede ver que la Luna se aleja de la Tierra, indicando que la Tierra pudo haberla fisionado en algún momento. El hecho es que ahora mismo no hay realmente buenas teorías de cómo la Luna llegó aquí. Conocemos la teoría de la captura que no funciona, la teoría de la fisión que tiene algunos problemas, y la teoría de la colisión que es absolutamente absurda, debido al hecho de que las proporciones isotópicas del suelo lunar coinciden con la Tierra, que indica que no son de otro lugar. Habría una mezcla de elementos, si la Luna se hubiera formado a partir de la Tierra misma y otro cuerpo alienígena. En 1970, Michael Basan y Alexander Shcherbakov, de la Academia Soviética de las Ciencias, avanzaron una hipótesis de que la Luna era una nave espacial construida por extraterrestres. El artículo publicado en la revista Sputnik se tituló "La Luna es la creación de una inteligencia alienígena". La teoría se basa en la idea de que grandes cráteres lunares, se cree que son creados a partir del impacto de los meteoritos, son generalmente poco profundos y tienen fondos planos, o incluso fondos convexos. Los dos científicos teorizaron que los grandes meteoritos realizaron una perforación a través de la capa rocosa, y golpearon un casco blindado debajo de la superficie de la Luna. Otra noción muy convincente es la idea de que los cráteres no son lo suficientemente profundos. Podemos ver estos grandes mares lunares, y cuando la Luna está llena, parece verse al famoso hombre de la Luna, pero en realidad son áreas oscuras, que algunas personas ven como una cara. Esas áreas oscuras no son profundas comparadas con el resto de la Luna. Así que estos científicos rusos que escribieron un artículo en los 70 sobre la Luna hueca, concluyeron que los cráteres no expulsan suficiente material. Es como si golpearan algo muy sólido. Los lugares donde se ven estos mares están mucho más cerca de la superficie. Lo que sea que golpee, está rebotando en algo mucho más sólido que el regolito, polvo superficial lunar. Y eso causa que los cráteres sean muy anchos y superficiales. No tienen profundidad. Había dos científicos rusos diciendo que creen que la Luna era un cuerpo construido. Pensaban que era un planetoide que había sido ahuecado, y todo lo que estaba pasando en ella, aparte de algunas cosas que ocurrían en la superficie del lado oculto de la Luna, tenían lugar en su interior. Lo que ellos describían, mucho antes de que se hiciera realidad en la película, La Guerra de las Galaxias, fue la estrella de la muerte. Eso es lo que describieron en 1970. Cosas como estas hacen que ciertos astrónomos e investigadores piensen que nuestra Luna es un satélite artificial, como la estrella de la muerte de George Lucas, que está en órbita alrededor de nuestro planeta, pero no para destruirnos como en la Guerra de las Galaxias, sino como un satélite para observarnos, como una base para observar literalmente la Tierra. Consideraron que una raza muy avanzada había ahuecado la Luna, y debido a las numerosas anomalías sobre la Luna, puede explicarse porque, como un científico de la NASA dijo, porque está al revés. Lo que está en la superficie debería estar en su interior. Hay un número de anomalías en la superficie de la Luna que sugirieron que es hueca. Primero están los cráteres, algunos de ellos de cientos de kilómetros de diámetro, lo que significaría que el cráter tendría que ser muy profundo. Pero en realidad el cráter es bastante superficial y no tiene profundidad. Si un asteroide o cometa de algo impacta contra la Luna y crea un cráter de 100 kilómetros de ancho, se esperaría que la profundidad fuera de unos 100 kilómetros o más. Pero la profundidad es mucho menos de lo que se esperaría. pero ciertamente es lo suficiente para sospechar que debajo de la corteza lunar hay una carcasa muy dura, de algún tipo de metal, que pudiera resistir los impactos hechos por los asteroides y escombros espaciales. Eso sugiere que la Luna es un cuerpo artificial y que en su interior hay bases enormes. Hay otras anomalías sobre la Luna. En primer lugar, ¿cómo puede un cuerpo que es un cuarto del tamaño de la Tierra en diámetro ser capturada por la Tierra? En términos de la física convencional, eso no es posible. Es demasiado grande. ¿Y por qué tendría una rotación sincrónica con la Tierra? Eso crea un área en la Luna, en el lado oscuro que no puede ser observado desde la Tierra, pero para los que tienen tecnologías avanzadas, y que hayan establecido bases dentro de ella, les es posible tener todas estas naves estacionadas en el lado oculto de la Luna, visitando la Tierra, haciendo lo que sea, hacer lo que sea que necesiten hacer, o monitorear la Tierra sin que nosotros sepamos lo que hay allí. Aunque la teoría de los dos científicos de que la Luna es artificial y hueca, explicó las muchas incongruencias acerca de los orígenes de la Luna, y cómo llegó allí a la órbita de la Tierra. Hubieron otros científicos que buscaron otros datos, que les hicieron replantear acerca de nuestro vecino lunar. El Dr. Gordon McDonnell, un gran científico de la NASA, dijo esto en 1962. Después de estudiar el movimiento de la Luna, si los datos astronómicos se reducen, se puede deducir que el interior de la Luna es menos densa que el exterior. De hecho, parecería que la Luna es más como un hueco que una esfera homogénea. Uno de los casos que es realmente fascinante es que en el Apolo 16 separaron el módulo lunar Orión, lo estrellaron deliberadamente contra la superficie lunar y utilizaron los sismómetros de otros sitios de alunizaje para registrar lo sucedido. Y lo que sucedió es que la Luna básicamente sonó como una campana durante unas 14 horas. Lo que indica es que en su mayor parte, es probablemente hueca. En otras palabras, hay enormes cavernas dentro de la Luna, lo cual no es algo que encontraría en un cuerpo natural. Todo debería estar comprimido. No habría estas enormes cavidades en el interior. En el capítulo 13 de su libro, La Luna, el famoso astrónomo H.P. Wilkin dice: todo apunta a una naturaleza hueca de la corteza de la Luna, dentro de un radio de 30 a 50 kilómetros de la superficie. Los griegos, hace 4000 años, sabían que las estaciones fueron causadas por la rotación de la Tierra alrededor del Sol, y sabían que había regiones templadas y frías en la Tierra. Debido a esto, los himnos órficos requerían un examen más profundo. Al hacerlo, parece que el dios Orfeo sabía muchas cosas esotéricas sobre la Luna. Al hablar de la Luna, Orfeo, el hijo de Apolo, relata que tiene muchas montañas y ciudades y casas en ella. Todo lo que pensaban que tenía un terreno sólido como la Tierra. Contiene grandes campos, suelos magníficos y divinos habitantes. Orfeo era conocido por sus contemporáneos como el hombre de la Luna. Existen tribus antiguas y relatos antiguos de varios cronistas que hablan de la época antes de que la Luna estuviera allí. También hay relatos zulúes y muchas otras historias que hablan de la Luna como si fuera simbólicamente un huevo. Un zulú chamán llamado Credo Mutua explicó por qué simbolizaban a la Luna como un huevo. Y él dijo: porque queremos que está vacía, como un huevo sin yema. Es por eso que lo simbolizamos como un huevo. También están las leyendas zulúes sobre el origen de la Luna. Ellos dicen que los Chitauri, como los llaman, la raza de reptilianos, con dos líderes llamados Wawani y Yampanku, le robaron la Luna a la Gran Pitón, y básicamente la ubicaron donde está. Y cuando nos fijamos en las descripciones de cómo eran esos antepasados, las descripciones de Wawani y Yampanku, estas se correlacionan con las de Enki y Enlil. Y también con las descripciones de los Anunnaki, sobre una raza no humana visitando la Tierra y que proviene de la zona de Sumeria. ¿Hay alguna evidencia ancestral de un tiempo en la Tierra antes de que existiera la Luna? Aristóteles escribió que los pelasgos vivieron desde tiempos muy antiguos, en la época que la Luna no existía. Símbolos que fueron descubiertos en la pared del patio de Coloseo, un templo que fue construido hace más de 15.000 años. Coloseo, que está en Bolivia, es uno de los más antiguos yacimientos arqueológicos encontrados en América. Los símbolos en la pared muestran evidencia de que la Luna entró en órbita alrededor de la Tierra hace miles de años. Por otra parte, la Puerta del Calendario, también conocida como la Puerta del Sol, situada en el mismo sitio, nos proporciona evidencia de que un satélite más pequeño giró alrededor de la Tierra. Algunas referencias al tiempo antes de que existiera la Luna también se puede encontrar en la Biblia, en Job 25:5. La grandeza del Señor que hace la paz en las alturas es alabada en el tiempo, como se mencionó, antes de que existiera una luna, y no brillaba. En el Salmo 72:5, dice: Te temieron desde el tiempo del sol y antes de la época de la luna, una generación de generaciones, que es un tiempo muy largo. La memoria de un mundo sin luna vive en la tradición oral entre los nativos de la Amazonia. Los indios de las islas de Bogotá, en la cordillera oriental de Colombia, relacionan algunos de sus recuerdos tribales a un tiempo antes de que existiera una luna. En los primeros tiempos, según los miembros de la tribu Chibcha, la luna todavía no estaba en los cielos. Como hemos visto, la luna, nuestro vecino más cercano en el espacio, puede no ser exactamente lo que pensamos que es, y que hay evidencia seria de que la NASA sabe que la baja densidad de la luna prueba que es hueca. También hay casualidades extrañas, como el hecho de que durante un eclipse solar, la luna y el sol parecen ser del mismo tamaño durante un eclipse solar. Suscríbete para más vídeos.
Hey, we gotta get out of here. I've never seen anything like this.
No, neither have I.
Black Hawk helicopters will be operating across Sydney over the coming weeks, but there's no need for alarm. They're involved in top-level training.
The Black Hawks are coming. But this time, it is a drill.
Eventually, we'll all be citizens not of individual countries, but just of planet Earth. There's already so much evidence pointing to that, and now there's this. Someone's just designed a new international flag of planet Earth.
People think that they know somebody so well just because of what they see on social media or what they read about in interviews or interview right now. Like,
No.
Like, no, like we're all very
there are
awkward.
more awkward.
What I'm saying is like this is just it's just not real life. It's not real life.
You know, I don't take selfies anymore. I don't really like them.
They're not as good pictures or anything, or it's just you move past it?
I just would like to live in real time a little bit more.
Man, in East Africa and Somalia and all those places, they have the war poets out there. All that rap stuff that we do today came from that area. Am I right? Am I lying?
Oh, that's real talk. You know what I'm saying? It comes from struggle. People gotta express their struggle. You ain't got no other means of, liberating yourself is through spoken word and expression. You feel me? So.
Well, so far, Huawei's come out with fighting talk. It says that banning it from the country's 5G development will essentially make the US lag behind in 5G networks. It says it could also pose serious legal issues. Remember, Huawei's currently not
like a river. Whoa.
Hello and welcome to the Betfair Royal Ascot preview. And I'm very lucky today because
information on this topic. The liver is an important organ in our body. It's located somewhere between, I guess, the spare ribs and the wishbone.
Hi, I'm Anthony. Recently I lost 2 giant rabbits to viral hemorrhagic disease number 2, which is a new strain of the viral hemorrhagic disease. It's a new strain. The old traditional mixed mitosis PhD vaccine doesn't work.
Check that shit out for geoengineering, folks. Just check that out. It's the worst I've ever seen.
It is nestled among the redwoods, 2,700 acres of pristine land, broken down into dozens of camps. No way we could just get an escort.
Not at all, and I'll have the police come and arrest you if you don't need
Access is by invitation only.
Our concern is not what's going on inside of the grove, but what's happening outside of the grove with the people that are in here.
Expressed it differently all through my life. It's the same thing I'm expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends. You know. If anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, Chinese, what they are actually trying to do, you know, and what they think they're doing, I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane. You know, but I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that.
During last year's summer break, she spent 20 minutes a day in this depression helmet at Serenity Mental Health Centers in Gilbert.
It doesn't hurt.
The FDA-approved treatment is called transcranial magnetic stimulation, which uses magnetic pulses to stimulate nerves and train the brain to think a different way.
TMS is like rebooting the brain.
Draw a small grade.
Are these the aliens that you've seen?
That's not great.
Which ones do you see?
Yes, they can be the atmosphere on their planet is very similar, but it's just binary stars, which makes the air a lot drier. The bones are more fragile than ours. They kind of look like
What's their body look like?
You said they live among us. Called the good word. And these right here are the tall whites. They're actually a clone created by the small tree. Are they Jewish? They're like serpents.
Here we are. San Diego Freeway coming up. We are there. Awesome. Dude, what the hell was that? He wasn't on a motorcycle.
9:38 in the morning. You can see how high the sun is in the sky. It's not even cold and it's still foggy. I can't even see my neighbour's house. I can't even see across the road.
Those are not planes, dude. Look at that shit.
They're going in weird directions.
Look at that 7. Upside down. Yep.
A soybean field, and this little new cut road divided this field. And the right side of the road was filled with which I thought was portable toilets. I never looked at them that close. Same in color, maybe black, but which was an odd color. And I was sitting there going over my notes, and a van pulled alongside of me, and it turned out to be the property owner. And he greeted me, and he was by himself, and so we had a good little dialogue there, and I asked him about the field of black boxes. What were they? Because I'd never seen anything like that, and his statement was that if he told me, I would be one of few people in Madison, Georgia, that knew about them.
Meu Deus, olha a loja aqui na Lindenberg, gente, como é que tá? Olha aqui, a água quebrou o vidro, entrou água em tudo na loja aqui na Lindenberg, olha. Olha só essa loja. Essa loja aqui, na Lindenberg. Ficou lagou. Olha, o carro já tá todo lagado.
That's a tornado. That's a tornado. Let's go. Come on. And he says they're disposable coffins, I believe he told me. And
London. Had a good run there for a while. Now it's all riots, bombings, and people thrown in cages like animals. Oh, and who could forget the killer robots everywhere? So yeah, it's all gonna be... It's up to us to take our city back. Thing is, we can't do it alone. We need to recruit a resistance. I know what you're thinking. Where do we start? Open your eyes and take a look around. Look here. Look at him. No, not him. Him. Former MI5.
Duty never ends.
He can get anywhere and erase anyone. See her?
Let's kick those people out of London.
She got kicked out of Oxbridge Robotics School for teaching him to reproduce. And that fella over there? Proper bellend. Come on, come at me. He'll crack your skull just for looking at him funny.
He says there's 100, at that time, he said there was 125,000 there. And they were stacked, he told me 15 high. I asked him who owned them, and he stated that the CDC.
What are some, every once in a while, breakouts of diseases happen within the livestock industry?
Well, they think they have it contained, and we see no reason to believe otherwise right now. Some people have some suspicions, though. The key is to have a very good... Some people have some suspicions, though.
Rolling out a tool to track alleged censorship on social media. The move follows months of sparring between President Trump and platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Google. The White House tweeting, the Trump administration is fighting for free speech online today. But some critics are calling this a scam and a data collection tool in disguise.
6 sirens in the universe. I used to be one of them. My name is Lilith, and I need you. Followers demand we join or die. We've got another proposal for them.
In June of 2011, the Swedish wreck divers Peter Lindberg and Dennis Orsberg stumbled upon something no one could explain. Nearly 300 feet below the surface of the Gulf of Bothnia, the sonar suddenly showed an astonishing image. Down there in the cold, dark North waters lay an object no one could identify. It was almost perfectly round, 180 feet in diameter, and it looked like a UFO. Now they're about to experience the adventure of a lifetime. They will embark upon an expedition in an attempt to find out what it was they saw that day.
They found what can only be described as the wreckage of a spaceship.
At first one wouldn't have an explanation for what this actually could be. It could be man-made.
What in helvete? Allvarligt, som en häxring alltså.
You don't get any answers. You just get more questions.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Du måste ju vara med där.
It's my planning and I am a bit anxious about it.
If anything happens, we're smoked. It's threatening me and my kids.
My name is Peter Lundberg, and I am a professional treasure hunter. Treasure hunting for me is very much chasing the dream to find the long-lost wreck. It's a historical capsule, and no one has touched it. I'm not so much in diving on wrecks which people already have investigated. That's no fun. The fun is to find something completely new. It's thrilling and it's extremely fun.
With more than 20 years of diving experience, Peter has taken part in many spectacular expeditions in the Baltic Sea. In 1997, he explored the wreck of the Jönköping, a Swedish merchant ship that sank in the First World War. The cargo hold contained well-preserved bottles of champagne, almost 100 years old. It turned out to be a substantial find. The bottles were auctioned off at Christie's for the record price of £2,200 a bottle. That was in 1998. Today, the collector's price is about €21,000. Together with his friend and entrepreneur Dennis Orsberg, he started the deep-sea exploration company Ocean X Team.
What drives me is curiosity, and I have always been a curious guy, an explorer, and I want to find out new things. To find that thing that nobody else had found. Some sort of long-term goal.
The territory for Dennis and Peter's expedition is centered in the Baltic Sea, high up in the north of Europe, off the coast of Sweden, and 8 other bordering countries. Throughout history, many ships have been lost in these international waters. It has been said that the Baltic Sea and the Gulf of Bothnia hold more than 100,000 wrecks. A famous example is the Vasa, a Swedish warship that sank in the 1600s and was salvaged more than 300 years later. The hull was found to be almost completely intact. Since the inlet is narrow and the fact that rain, ice and snow are being discharged from the surrounding countries, the water is brackish, a mixture of fresh and salt water. The low salinity gives the Baltic Sea excellent conservation qualities for anything that sinks to the bottom. In the summer of 2011, the Ocean X team were on a routine expedition north of Åland. However, things didn't go as planned.
We had rented an old fishing vessel, which we used. And we had problem already from the beginning. The boat started leaking and we had to find a dry dock in Finland to repair it. And, well, everything was just crazy.
Disheartened by the failed expedition, Peter has an idea.
On our way home, we knew that we would pass an area where there were another wreck. So we put the equipment into the water and started searching. And, well, it was less than an hour, I remember. This strange, odd thing just turned up on the monitor. My initial reaction when the circle turned up on the monitor was, hey guys, here we have a UFO.
I get goosebumps all over my body. I've never ever seen anything like that.
I could say that it's not a wreck, it's something that looks very odd. Then we start measuring and saw that it was nearly 60 meters diameter.
It was perfect round, like a mark in at the bottom. Remember, I said to all the crew members that be quiet about this. Don't say anything till we know what it is.
After returning to Stockholm, the crew studies the images for weeks, but they just can't figure out what the anomaly actually is. After many days and nights spent pondering, Dennis looks in another direction for help. He wants to go public with the images.
They said to me, okay, we'll do whatever you do. I called the newspaper. That was the start of that new life.
Buckle up, Star Wars nerds. You're gonna like this one.
Can only be described as the wreckage of a crashed spaceship.
It just exploded. We kind of locked up the Pandora box.
They came across something unusual.
So is it really an intergalactic
The news
spacecraft?
spreads rapidly amongst both scientists and laymen all over the world.
This whole anomaly is really intriguing. I must say, I really can't say what it is.
At first, one wouldn't have an explanation for what this actually could be. It definitely requires more work.
The telephone is ringing all the time. Radio station, TV channels. It's from the whole world.
300,000 visitors per day on the web page.
Sitting in the computer and just bing, 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 bing. I got like 50,000 mails.
But it didn't have the desired effect Peter and Dennis had hoped for.
There have been many theories. We had satellites telling us not to go there because it might be a trap. That if we touch it, it will explode and kill all the people in the world. And even that it might be a porthole down to hell. So the theories has been many and creative, but no one has came up with an explanation. Everything is just speculation.
After a year of analyzing, researching, and sponsor hunting, it's finally time to head out to steal Zyra. The expedition requires state-of-the-art technology, staff, and mountains of supplies, which is very costly. The budget is set to 120,000 euros. Every day has a price tag of more than 20,000 euros, which means they have less than a week to succeed. Besides Peter and Dennis, the team is made up of experienced professional divers, technical operators, and the ship's crew, led by Captain Thomas.
Hörru, varför står den här kolonnan när det kan hoppa ner? Det där är din. Ja, det här är inte min, den här är halvfull. Det är garanterat inte min. Ja, det är inte min.
I'm in charge of everything. My responsibility for the safe, ship, and for all members aboard.
Peter! Ni behöver inte skrika. Skrika idag. Inte gör det där tjatet. Vad fan är det där?
The captain is the boss, and he knows what he's doing.
Kan någon jävel slå på den där så jag slipper frysa hela helveten?
And of course you get annoyed when he's coming down screaming at you, but of course he's right.
Åk bort och hämta biljäveln och koppla ihop skiten och hit med grejerna. Det blir så förbannat.